Hey, what's up, fam? As I said in the last video, I'm very worried of the possibility that this is the last arc of Kimetsu no Yaiba, and I say that because it definitely has traits of a final arc, but at the same time, there's so much more they could do. Like I mentioned, how they've brought up other countries, and like in both books and one of the upper moons, I think it was French that he kept having words for, or something Indian, or I don't remember. I just remember it being, I guess one of the two of those. But the fact that he, knows of information from this other land, and they could easily incorporate monsters like from other regions' lore, like if they wanted to bring monsters from Russia, like history, or South America, or even like newer ones, like something like a gremlin. For I think I don't remember. I think that was I don't remember if that goes further back, but I remember it got like made very famous. I think in like World War II, it was like some story that they would talk about like the Chinese could do. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. Like just look it up. Anyway, the fact that there's so much more they could do as well, and then they could bring in like exorcists with styles outside of Japan, and you could have like the classic like Western exorcist. You can have kind of like witch doctors and stuff. You can have all these different kind of like monster hunters for different countries, and it would be really cool to also kind of incorporate them into the story and how they could kind of like advance each other, like learning different styles. Like I like that I'm forgetting his name. The guy who can eat demon flesh and then like make himself temporarily stronger. But the fact that he has shitty swordsmanship and he kind of just relies on this physical boost and regeneration. But at the same time, like to cope with that, he got a gun. Where it's like, where the fuck did he get that? Okay, probably like maybe he got it off some traveler or some trader. I don't know, but it's definitely something that would be really interesting to see how the story could go further. It's something that I had the hopes for in Seven Deadly Sins, if you've ever read that, but it doesn't look like it's going down that pathway, even though it was set up for it. But there's definitely a lot of potential, like I said, with Kimetsu no Yaiba in that manner, as well as like the anime is about to drop. So like, why would you? It's gonna get such a big boost from the anime. I'm hoping that the if that happens, when it happens, that the author will think, maybe I should keep the series going. Keep the stride on, and don't cut it off before the boost comes. Like, oh, hiccup, brother. Sorry. Like, come on. I really like the characters. They're getting a lot of progress, like a lot of character progression in this arc, especially. But here we had, like I said, we had Giyu and Tanjiro against Akaza, who's just oddly mocking while at the same time complimenting them during the fight, and how he's a very interesting in that manner. Like I talked about it before in a video. One thing I liked about uh, for those who have read or watched Fairy Tail, there's a guy named Agil, and I mean he changed for some. I don't know why his personality was altered like 10 chapters after his introduction, but like his thing is he was very polite when he first got introduced. Like he was this weirdly polite villain, and he would compliment people like in the middle of a battle, and that's what I'm getting with Akaza. Like he has this kind of like brutality, like slaughter like mindset, but at the same time, something happens that he thinks is impressive. Like he just straight up like compliments his opponent, talks about how cool their technique was and how the fact that they're faring well against him. Like he's go against Giyu, and he's like I said impressed by his ability. So and because he's fought a water breath user before, and he's had tech, and now here we have Giyu who's got techniques beyond that, and he's impressed enough that he wants to know his name just so he could have that ingrained in his head of who he fought. And he was just like, no, I don't want to do that. And Akaza just is like, I'm just gonna keep asking you. Then we're gonna do this. I'm gonna keep asking you until I get it, and just wants to keep pestering him, and ends up, like doing this like combo attack, knocks him straight through multiple layers of that whole dimensional building, and just opens that up for Tanjiro as soon as he shouts out for Giyu's name, worried about him. And Akaza just is so happy looking that he found out his name, and this can does continue further down the line. And that opened up to a really interesting character interaction when he's like talking about how much Tanjiro has progressed, and how it was kind of good, and he's happy that he killed Rengoku when he did, because Rengoku probably was like at his peak, but because of him dying, Tanjiro was able to get motivation, and he would it got stronger based off that. That's what he's really looking at. Akaza just looks at it as it's a good thing I killed that guy because that way you got this strong. And Tanjiro, it's just not taken that well. You see this kind of like blind rage bit with him. And Tanjiro is such a nice guy on a level of personality. He just seems like a genuinely very genuine, like very honest and happy guy, very pure. And yet, just kind of like those rage moments with him, it feels very. It just feels so interesting, and it's at the same time not some like I'm in some bloodlust rage right now. It's just like this moment of anger, while at the same time he just wants to get back in control of himself. And so we'll figure out what exactly that's going to affect further on, because he's now insulting Akaza when he says that he doesn't like weaklings. He's not mocking Rengoku. He's not mocking he doesn't hate him in general. He hates weaklings and talks about how like the weak should just die off. They need to be weeded out. But honestly, I think a really good point made by Tanjiro is how like even if you're like some prodigy and you become really powerful, that everyone was born weak. Like when you're a baby, and how you survive because somebody strong protects you, and how after that point you should be working to get strong so you can protect those weaker than yourselves, and continue that cycle on, because that's what as Tanjiro sees it as the law of nature. And then he's not going to let Akaza like bring like further continue this idea, while at the same time just doing whatever he wants. And you could tell that is just that like very dead emotional look on Akaza's face, and but at the same time this that grip from his hands where his veins are just like popping and he's enraged. But like similar in a way that silent rage that Tanjiro just had, that he's not taking well to that. So it's probably gonna affect him based off his backstory, and he's gonna have a lot more of a personal reaction to it, which is gonna be pretty cool. So like I said, I mean this chapter was much more about like action, and but at the same time you're getting fleshed out a little bit more of this villain. So it's not as heavy to talk about as say like the parts with Zenitsu and him talking. Oh my god, how do I already forgot the guy's name, but his opponent. I don't know. He had like such a few parts, and then he was important. Like he was really important for like a short period of time, and somehow I already forgot him. But we haven't gotten to that bit yet, where it's going to be much more of an emotional chapter. This one is much more leading up to that, while still having a lot of cool action bits. Definitely looking forward to the next one. I have been I've been looking forward to Kimetsu no Yaiba every week, and I've been really happy with the consistent chapter releases with the Shonen Jump service now. And it's because you get a lot of series that when they're really big and popular, they get like very consistent week by week translations. Even if it's late, it still will probably get done because it's popular. And Kimetsu no Yaiba was still in that stasis of popular, but not to in the demand. But definitely, it's gearing up higher with it, and the anime is definitely gonna have a huge boom for it. So look forward to that. But other than that, drop a comment below and what you think about this chapter and how you think the series is going. Like, are you okay with it ending like after this arc? I really don't want it to. I mean, it's been a really good arc, but I really want it to continue. Like, there's so much stuff that they could do. Like, if this ends, I really hope that the author has a similar kind of layout, like I said, like being a similar style but in a different country with different monsters and stuff, and it all existing in the same world where eventually you could have like the characters meet up and interact. I don't know. I think that'd be a really cool idea. But other than that, like I said, drop a comment below what you think about this, and I hope I can get you to thumbs up the video, befriend the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my other videos and the rest of my content. Other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.